So it has become evident that in the Wild Wind Boat Park we have got a boat which has got quite a soft deck. It's an FX1. Hello, yes, that's right, it's Joe here for Joyrider TV. I'm not going to lie to you, I am not an expert in this area, but I'm certainly having a good go. Here is the FX1 in question. This is the area which is soft, so I don't know if that sound is coming through. Oh, and here we can actually see it's so soft it's kind of cracking. So I'm going to set about fixing it and you're coming along for the ride. Good luck. Okay, so I've started off by identifying the entirety of the affected area. I've cleaned it with some acetone and then I've just pretty much covered it in masking tape, so then I can mark with a marker pen where exactly the soft part is. I've marked it out using a series of dots 2 inches apart, and those dots are where we're going to drill the holes to inject the epoxy. I've been reasonably generous with the amount of dots I've put on here just to make sure that every soft part of the hull definitely gets a dose. Okay, so we're just revving up for the most nerve-wracking part of this operation. I'm going to drill a hole, the first hole through the deck. Now this really is the game as old as time, just the tip. Just wanting to take it through the upper surface. All right, so now I've gone through there. I've got a pokey stick. This is the end of a pop rivet, just so I can have a poke about and feel what's going on in there. And just to see if it's just the layer between the foam and the top which is soft, or the layer underneath the foam and the foam. So that certainly is as soft as you like in there. So I think what I'm going to do is just drill the rest of the holes and then we can start with the epoxy. Okay, so there we go. That was pretty nerve-wracking stuff just to get the tip in and no more. Incidentally, I was using a 6mm drill bit because that is the same diameter as the end of the syringe which I'm going to be using to put the epoxy in. There were a few where there didn't seem to be any foam underneath the fiberglass and it went straight through. So for those I'm just going to have to use epoxy with some micro bubbles to fill the holes, I reckon. Like I said, I'm no expert in this, I'm just having a go. So I'm going to be using this West System epoxy resin to inject into the holes. I'm using some like kitchen scales to measure it to get the mix right. The kitchen scales have been an absolute game changer for getting the mix right with any of these substances. Well worth a look. Yeah, put it in the comments below if you think, Joe, you should stick to making videos about something you know about and not about this stuff that you clearly know nothing about. Put it in the comments. Say yes or no. Thanks very much. 40 grams of the resin, 8 grams of the hardener, slightly under if anything because it's so hot here. At this time I'd like to thank Martin at Malcheski Composites for giving me some tips on what to do here, and apologies if I haven't followed those tips to the word, and if this fails because of my lack of ability to follow his advice. All right, So that's mixed pretty well. I've now got my large syringe into the epoxy and just draw it up. All right, that's nice. All right. Okay, so here we go. I really have got no idea of what to expect here. So I'm just sticking the end of the syringe into the hole.
We're gonna leave that one there because that's just really heavy.
I'm just gonna put a bit in and, all right, yes, as expected, making a right old mess. All right, this is not how it's meant to be. I think I'm putting too much into the holes. All right, so what I found here is it really doesn't take a lot to fill these holes. I think I've currently got more epoxy on top of the boat than actually in the holes. So now that I've got this bad boy injected with epoxy resin, it's just a waiting game to see what the end result is. To be honest, I haven't got particularly high hopes. Stay tuned to see what the end result is like. I haven't got high hopes because I didn't feel that the resin was kind of going under the deck very much, the amount that I was getting in there, but I have been told it really takes a very small amount. So fingers crossed, this FX1 will be stiff again. Okay, so the epoxy that I injected dried. I took all the masking tape off, gave it a little rub, and now these areas are absolutely rock solid. So I can safely say here we have had success. Now, unfortunately, I can't say that for the whole of the deck, as you will see. We've had to take more drastic measures here. So this area of the hull remained soft even after the injecting, very soft indeed. And what it turned out was the foam underneath had pretty much disintegrated, so there was nothing for the epoxy to bite onto. And so what I've done is I've cut out all of the affected area. I just drilled a load of holes in it, got a hacksaw blade and just cut it out. Then I got a grinder and I've ground it back with a grinder, taking it to a nice beveled edge. Sorry I didn't video while I was doing this, but it was taking quite a long time. I've switched to polyester resin because the boat is made of polyester and we're going to be finishing it with polyester, I think. So what I've done is I've taken some fibreglass mat, made a piece which is about the same shape, just 2 centimeters bigger on each side. I let that dry and then I made some polyester with micro bubbles. So this is the stuff I've been using to thicken the polyester. I'm told that you add enough so that you get a mayonnaise-like consistency, which is what I have done. And then I've basically painted that on, put the piece inside, and then I've used this piece of string in this ingenious little bridge construction to hold it up while that's drying. So it's actually turned out to be a much bigger job than I originally thought, with another very soft bit which couldn't be injected. So all of the holes have been rubbed down. Everything is very, very smooth indeed. I finished off this patch with some polyester with some cut up chop strand matte pieces and micro bubbles in there, so that is as solid as you like. And then this piece here I had to fill in as well because this was extremely soft and all cracked and broken, so I glued a piece to the inside. That is it, the repair is complete. Of course it does look a bit of a state, so I've got the whole thing covered in masking tape ready for paint. So we're going to change the look of this FX1. So there we go. The masking tape has been taken off. The paint is just drying now. Where all those repairs are, that paint has really hidden everything. Very nice. Oh yes, so I'm not going to lie to you, this repair has taken me a very long time from start to finish, probably something like 3 weeks from when I first started it, but that's just because I didn't have time to get on with it. I hope this has been of some value to somebody. If it has been, don't forget to give the video a like, subscribe to Joyrider TV, and I'll be back soon with some more great cat sailing stuff from Wild Wind Sailing Holidays in Greece.